and happy Monday, Story City. We welcome you to another episode of Mondays in Story. And today I am joined with Justin. Justin Morton is with Mort's Water. And I'm just going to let Justin introduce yourself and tell us a little bit of what Mort's Water is.
Okay. Well, like she said, my name's Justin Morton. I've lived in Story City since 2010. I actually taught here from 2010 to 2019 and then coached from 2010 to 2021, coached girls basketball here. So very familiar with the area. Yes. Love the area. My wife and I live in Story City. Both of my kids graduated from Roland Story. So, so with Mort's Water Company, we're a fifth generation business. Mm-hmm. We do pretty much anything with water and sewer. We don't drill wells. And our focus in Story City is doing Connecticut water treatment and some sewer stuff. So we've actually done some sewer stuff for Norseman Realty, and we've started selling some softeners down here. So we've been in the industry since 1887, my great-great-granddad. So started as a well driller. And my brother Brandon and I, we were both teachers, and we left our teaching careers to go back and run the family business with my dad, who just turned 76 in February. So in the past, we haven't been able to sell Connecticut in Story County. Another Connecticut dealer had it. Now it's opened up, and we're really excited to have a presence down here in Story City. I've really wanted that for a long time, having lived here.
Yes.
And so that's kind of our goal right now, is to kind of integrate ourselves into the community. We're very community oriented, just kind of keep growing down here.
All right. So for those that don't know, where is the original Mort's Water Company at?
So the one right now is in Latimer, Iowa. Yep. So we're down in this area quite a bit. We do a lot of work in Hamilton County, Jewell, Ellsworth, Randall area. We've done softeners in Randall, and my goal is down the road, if we get enough of a presence down here, is to have someone down here full time, so a truck and all that kind of stuff. But we got to kind of develop the territory before I can take that next step.
So you're talking about territories. So how did that come about? Because like you said, it's been a long process to get you down here. So for people that don't understand like territories, what did that mean for your company to be able to come down to Story City? Right.
So with Connecticut water treatment, you pay for a territory, basically counties, and some of those counties, there's some counties that are at large. So, and you have to perform at a certain level in order to keep your county if you've paid for it. So, with this county here, they opened it up, and there's actually a few dealers kind of on that fringe of this area and stuff, with us being the closest one. So that's why we kind of decided to focus on the north part of Story County and Nevada area. I also taught and coached in Nevada, so I know a lot of people over there. So, so that's what our focus is in North Ames as well.
Awesome. So, talking history-wise, you said you're fifth generation.
Yep.
So have you seen your business? I mean, sure, after five generations of it, it doesn't look exactly the same. So can you start the process of what started all the way back when and where you're at today, and what do you see the future looking like for Mort's Water?
Yeah. So 1887, it started with my great-great-granddad, Fred Madsen, and he was a well driller, and the well rigs back then looked a lot different. It was pulled by a horse, all wood.
Yep.
And he actually he passed away on the well rig because they weren't familiar with high power during that time, and he got tangled up in it, crawled up and touched that, and then he was gone. And then my grandpa took over doing more plumbing, or my great grandpa took over doing more plumbing and well stuff. And then my grandpa and several of my uncles and stuff were together for quite a while, and we were known as Mort's Pump and Plumbing. And after a while, they ended up just dividing, and my dad was on his own starting in 98, 99 as Mort's Water Company. And our area has grown tremendously. I mean, before, out of Latimer, we were maybe a 30, 35-mile radius, maybe get up to Mason City or North Side.
Yep.
My guys were just down in Lehigh today, which I think is an hour and 20 minutes away.
I was going to say, a little bit of a jaunt.
Right, yeah. We're now going about 50, 60 miles for a lot of things, and we're just trying to kind of find the right people, employees, stuff like that, to grow with us. And we have wonderful employees right now. Good. Really excited about that. And with the future, people keep asking Dad, when's he going to retire? And he doesn't have an answer. And he's in great shape. In fact, he was out digging yesterday.
Hey, perfect.
Yep, up in the backhoe and stuff with my brother and everything. And the sixth generation, I'm not sure if that's going to come about. My brother has a couple of boys that are interested in the business and stuff, and that work with us in the summer. So they might kind of come in with the business as well. So,
perfect.
And then my son Connor will be working with us this summer, kind of in the sales department. So
awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
So, yeah.
So talking about water, we kind of all take it for granted.
Yep.
You just turn on the faucet and we all think that we have wonderful tasting water.
Right.
So when we, and it's becoming more popular to talk about clean and accessible and all of that. So when you're talking about taking over this territory, what products and services can you offer to people to make sure that they have clean water for their homes?
Right. So there's a common misconception where if you live in town or you are on rural water that you have soft water,
right,
and you don't. Most water in towns, if it has been pre-treated, is going to be anywhere from 8 to 12 grains hard is what we call it.
Okay.
And according to the EPA, anything over 10 is considered very hard. Okay. You want your water to be 1 grain or less. So that's one of the main services we provide with our Kineticos is we can bring you down to that 1 grain or less of hardness. And so then you basically have soft water. Now, what's the advantage of that? So hardness is calcium and magnesium, okay? So that builds up, think about like chalk or limestone almost. Right. People might see it on their in their shower fixtures. They might see it on their kitchen fixtures, in their sink, things like that. If you've had a hot water heater for a long time, and if you were ever to open that up and you didn't have a softener, it will be about a fourth to a third of the way full with calcium. So this helps your washing machine and all those types of things last longer, okay? You don't have to use as much soap in the shower or in the dishwasher and things like that, so your soap goes a lot further. So in the long run, we can pencil out for people, but you'll save money over time. Now, the big thing with Kineticos, which is a huge advantage and which no other system has, is they're 100% on demand and there's no electricity with them.
Oh, interesting.
So they're all based on a turbine that runs in the head and it gauges how much water you're using and then that takes it through the cycles.
Nice.
So especially for like families that have a lot of kids and stuff, if they have a single take softener, they can run at risk of losing soft water and then having hard water, like if it's a big laundry day or stuff like that.
Yep.
So this way it's always on demand and you don't even know. It's 2 tanks, so one tank's working while the other tank's in standby and they just switch back and forth seamlessly.
Okay.
The other thing is the main model that we use, like in the Story City and Ames area, the S650 XP. It's the most efficient softener on the market. So it uses very little salt.
Okay.
A lot of people think that they say, well, I want a saltless water softener. There's no such thing. Yeah.
Right.
And that's a common misconception too. There's water conditioners that condition your water, but they don't necessarily take out the hardness and the calcium. So we have a lot of people who don't like going up and down the stairs and stuff, and their water softeners in the basement that will buy those 650s, especially because I tell people the biggest problem with having a Kinetico is remembering to put in the salt because you have to do it so little. You just forget,
I grew up. I lived on a farm. We had hard water.
Right,
and yes, lugging the salt down the stairs was something I
yep.
totally remember as a child.
Yeah, and it's not fun. And one of the other things is, since we do a lot of rural work and stuff too, we're really familiar with iron, with nitrates. Nitrates is the big word right now.
It is.
Yeah, we have a couple of things that can take the nitrates out of the water. We deal with nitrates all the time.
Okay.
So if you're in the city or on rural water, you don't really have to worry about nitrates. They are required to watch that and make sure it doesn't go over what they call the maximum contaminant level. But people in the country and stuff, I encourage them. You can get a free water test. We can do it, or the county will come in and do a free water test for the nitrates.
That's good to know.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then they just reach out to us, and they'll test for nitrates, bacteria, arsenic, and we can treat all those things. So we're set up to do all that. So.
Right. So as you were just saying, reach out to you. So what is the best way if somebody's like, oh, that's something I should really have done? What is the best way to reach out to you?
Yep. So we have a couple different ways. 1-800-HEY-MORT is one way if you just call that number. and we're open 24/7.
Wow.
So usually on the weekends, it'll come to my brother or myself. It goes through, and those are mostly emergency calls and stuff. Or you can go to mortsonline.com, and when you get there, you'll see two kind of home pages, a red one and a blue one. The red one is our sister company, Mort's Plumbing and Heating.
Okay.
They do a lot of HVAC geothermal. My dad's part owner in that, and then Mort's Water Company is the one I work out of,
Yep.
the blue. So if you click on that one, it'll kind of take you in, and you can peruse that, and there's a spot where you can fill out a form, and then we'll get back in touch with you.
Perfect. Sounds
So,
pretty easy
yeah.
to do that
Yep.
for sure.
Yep.
So now that you're in Story City, which
Yeah.
we are totally excited, and you're in the downtown Main Street area, you are having an open house this
Yes.
week. And a ribbon cutting.
Yes.
We're celebrating. So this tomorrow, Tuesday, April 28th from 4 to 6. What can people expect when they come to that open house?
Well, they'll get to meet Kelly, which is fun. So Kelly is fun. So she's awesome. So they'll love Kelly.
Fun too. Kelly is fun. I've
She
had
takes
couple
it
of
to a
calls
whole
with her.
nother
Yeah.
level. So you'll love meeting Kelly. She'll be around. And then actually my parents will both be there.
Awesome.
And my brother will be there and my wife. So we're big into family stuff, So we'll all be there. We'll have a lot of our products sitting out.
Okay.
We also have a promotion going on during this time where if you buy a Kinetical softener, you get a free reverse osmosis system.
Awesome.
So which is I think it's around a $1,200 value
Wow.
for that free RO. And for a limited time while we are doing the open house, there's 2 levels of ROs you can get. You can get the higher level one, which is a $2,000 value for free. So that's the one that will take out, like if you have arsenic in your water. And it has a couple extra features that the basic one doesn't have that people really like. So yeah, we're all about, we're all about service.
Yes.
I mean, you're not in business for over 125 years without serving.
Absolutely not.
And our first thing is that we want to serve and be there for our customers. So.
Awesome.
So to be clear, you don't want arsenic in the water?
You don't want arsenic.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
that is bad.
Let's keep that out of the water.
Yeah. And we're finding that more and more, I'll be honest with you. So, yeah.
Gracious.
So,
But we should tell a location. When we said you are in Story City, you
Yep.
are on Elm Street.
Yep.
So the suites and number 3, right?
yeah, 628 Broad, I think, and then, the suites there.
Yep, the
so.
suites. So don't look on Broad Street. Remember
Yep.
to turn on Elm where the suites are. So most people understand it a little better.
Yep.
It is confusing with addresses in that building.
Yeah, we're hoping if it's nice out, we can be out in that
Yeah.
front courtyard on
Yep.
Broad.
Yeah, absolutely.
Either way, we'll have a presence inside the office as
Absolutely.
well, too. So.
Look for the Story City Chamber Main Street flag. It'll be out there also. And this is an event that we are having. Not only with Mort's and the Chamber Main Street, but with the Ames Alliance.
Yes,
So
yep.
It is a regional event. And so it's a good way to come out, meet not only the Mort's Water staff, but people in your community and people that help us in the region for sure. So mark your calendars tomorrow, April 28th from 4 to 6 p.m. for sure. I just want to, you talked and mentioned a couple of times about community. Mm-hmm. And you've coached, you've taught, and talked about family and values. Like when you say Mort's Water and community, what words come to mind with that?
I guess there's different ways to lead, and different types of leaders to be. And I guess we try and lead by serving. So all our guys that work for us and gals, I mean, they believe in serving the customer, do it, and going above and beyond. And we're just very family oriented.
And I would guess that sets you apart from maybe some of your competitors.
Yeah, we like to think so,
I would say at this day and age that definitely is something that people do look for is that
Right.
connection and that willingness to serve for
Yep.
sure.
I've got calls, at 2 or 3 in the morning, and people are like, "Oh, I thought I would get an answering machine." No, we answer the phone 24/7. So
That is awesome.
Yeah, so I mean, we just wanted people to feel like they're taken care of and cared for, and we feel like if we take care of that, the profit takes care of itself. So
Awesome. That
Yep.
sounds great. So this past week, I was with the high school kids
Yep.
talking about careers and industries and college
Yes.
and things like that. So I'm going to kind of flip it a little bit since you have taught kids in science. What would you say if somebody was looking to go into this profession? Is there a quality or a education level you're looking at when you look to hire somebody?
Right. So I'm glad you brought that up. So That's a huge passion for me. I'm also president of the Iowa Water Well Association, and that's one of our big things that we're working on is trying to get more of a presence like in the high schools and stuff to show them that this is an opportunity. Kids know about electricians, they know about plumbers, they really don't know where their water comes from. They think it just comes from the tap.
Correct.
So I've actually taught 2 students. It's funny. I have 2 students who work for Riley Larson in Roland.
Yep.
That I taught, and they're out running well rigs, and they would be the first ones to admit that school wasn't their favorite thing, but they're great kids, very hard workers. They were very common sense, mechanically minded, could solve problems on their own, driven, and they go out and they drill wells for a living now, and make good money doing that. And I tell people, if you're not afraid of hard work and you like problem solving and working with your hands, then doing this kind of work is great. And what's fun with us is, so we have a plumbing department, we have a digging department, a sewer department, and a well department. So each and every day you could be doing something different. It's not the same old monotonous thing every day.
You know, and that was a question a lot of the students asked to us as panelists was, does every day look the same for you? And in my job, I was like, absolutely not.
Right.
It doesn't. And I would say that most of the people on the panel would say the same thing. And
Right.
what I'm hearing from you is no 2 days look alike for you also.
Exactly. I try and plan my day as much as I can. Usually by about 7:30 or 8, that's shot. But
Right, yep.
For example, today I met a customer up in Green, Iowa to look over. He needs a well system put in. Then after that, there was an out-of-water call in Allison, and my guys were down in Lehigh, so
Yep.
about 2 hours away. So I'm like, I'll just swing by there, see if I can do it. So I spent about an hour and a half in a well pit with water up to my ankles. And then after that, I went back to the shop, and I did shower before I came. I showered. I cleaned up.
You look pretty darn good for being in a well.
Yeah. Then I went down to Ames to do something at a job that we were just at, and then I went home and I showered, got cleaned up for you, and so I had mud, water up here, and I didn't smell too good. So
That's some days in all of our jobs,
right.
for sure.
Yeah.
Well, Justin, I want to thank you so much for taking
thank
time,
you.
but I really want to invite you all, if you're watching and listening, definitely stop out tomorrow. Come on down anytime between 4 and 6. Meet Justin and the team and learn more about Mort's Water. I'm definitely looking forward to meeting Mom and Dad and your brother for sure to find out why he chose the other side.
Right, yeah.
So, any closing words you have, Justin, for our listeners today?
No, we're just really excited to be here. This has kind of been a dream of mine since I retired from coaching and teaching down here, and we're just huge into community and being part of the community, and we're just really excited to be.
I was definitely excited because I've known it for about 4 years that eventually we would get you to Story City. So we are definitely excited to have you here, Justin.
Well, great.
Thank
We're
you so
excited to be
much. See you next week, guys.